Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel The Power of Excel. So in one of my previous videos on VLOOKUP, one of my audiences commented that I should also highlight the limitations of a function. Specifically in that case, he was talking about VLOOKUP as it is not a very efficient function. So what are the limitations of function and how we can overcome those limitations? Something I'll be talking about in this particular video and going forward as well. So, to the best of my knowledge and capacity, since the time I've been using these functions, I believe that there are two major limitations of the VLOOKUP function. One limitation is that in case somebody adds columns to the right of the lookup column in the master data, then in that particular case, the VLOOKUP function might not work correctly, considering that we have entered the column index in a manual way. But in case we find out a method by which we can automate entering this column index value, then we can get rid of this particular limitation. That is what we're going to talk about in this particular video. And another limitation that I would like to talk about for VLOOKUP is going to be in case we are wanting or we require data from the left side of the lookup column. The limitation of the VLOOKUP function is that it only fetches data to the right of the lookup column and not to the left of the lookup column. So in case we have some data which is on the left hand side of the lookup column in the master data, then in that case will not be able to fetch that data using the VLOOKUP function. That is something I'll be talking about in one of my forthcoming videos. So let's get started and talk about the first limitation, wherein in case we add multiple columns to the right of the lookup column, how we can fetch data using VLOOKUP. That is something we'll talk about right now. So let's get started. So the data I have taken to demonstrate this is the same data I had taken for the VLOOKUP tutorial. That is the employee master data and annual bonus employees. These are the two data sheets which I have. So wherein I am looking to fetch the employee names, the designations, and the email addresses of these respective email IDs from the employee master data, which I have on my first sheet. So in this particular case, in case I'm looking to fetch this, since this is the same example, so I've just used these functions here, and if I just showcase the use of these functions, let me show the formulas. So as you can see, these are the formulas which have been applied to these functions. And if you talk about the employee name, for example, so we have taken the column index as to which has been entered manually in this case. Now the objective is to automate the this entry of the column index in this case through the use of some function. And that function that we'll be using in this particular scenario would be the match function. So match function does something similar to what we do in case of lookup function, and it gives us the index of a particular field in a given array. So, for example, I'll just give an example by making use of this match function for the employee name attribute quickly. So let me quickly remove the show formulas or option, disable the show formulas option, and try and get this, try and change these values so as to able to automate this column index value. So what I'll do in this particular case is let me start from row number one. So what I need is instead of two, I'll be using the match function in this case. Match within brackets, the first parameter in the match function is a lookup value. So in this case, my lookup value would be the column header. So that is what it is going to match in my master data and fetch the index of the employee name based on the master data. So I'll select this. This is my column header. And since this is something I'm going to use for the rest of my records as well, I'll make it absolute. And my second parameter in this match function is the lookup array. So for the lookup array, I'll revert to the employee master data sheet and take the headers in the employee master data sheet, starting from employee ID. Again, since this particular array is something which I need to keep fixed, I'll be making this absolute. And since the match is exact match, I'll put a 0 as a match type and close this. Now, if I drag this down, I should be in a position to actually fetch all my employee IDs without entering the column index manually. Now, let me quickly make use of the match function to automate this column index value. Uh, so let me do it for the designation and email address. I've already done it for the employee name earlier. So I'll go to this first record for employee 1005. We get to this. I'll move this value 3 and I'll use the match function here. So the first attribute, as I told you before, is the lookup value. So in this case, the lookup value is my designation attribute. I can even automate the entry of this lookup value in the match function. So instead of using a absolute reference, as in this case, I can use a mixed reference. So let me first complete this, and then I'll automate that as well. So match, this is match lookup value. Then you have the lookup arrays. For the lookup array, I'll go to my employee master data and get this. This again has to remain fixed. B1 to F1. Then my match type, which is exact match. And I'll close this. As soon as I do this, you see I get the designation 1005 for the employee ID 1005. And if I drag this down, I should be in a position to get the designations for the remaining rows as well. And same goes for my email addresses also. So let me do this really quickly. So I'll go there, I'll remove this 4, place it with the match function. This is my lookup value. Let me make it absolute. Lookup array. My lookup array is my employee master data. The headers in the employee master data. This is my lookup array. And now comes my match type, which is exact match. And then I close this. And so I get this email address. And if I drag this, so I get the email addresses for my remaining employee IDs as well. So this is a beautiful way to actually automate or make the entry of the column index or the row index in case we're talking about the HLOOKUP function dynamic, so that we don't have to depend on which column is at which index with regards to my lookup value column. So in case somebody wants to add new columns in the master data, he or she should be able to do it without much of a problem if this we are making use of this match function. One more demonstration before we end this tutorial would be to automate this entry of this lookup value in the match function. So as in this case, as you might have seen, so we have made this absolute, but we can also make use of the mixed reference here. And since we want to move from left to right, and the columns should change and the row index should not in this particular case, so we'll remove the dollar in front of the column, and we can drag this left, right, top, bottom, and we should be able to do it. So I've done it for the first one. So I removed, in this case, if you see, I removed the dollar in front of C. And if I move it, if I drag it to the right, it should automatically change to D and E respectively. And if I move from top to bottom, the row index, that is column one, the row one will not change. So, if you want to get to know about references, I have another tutorial which I had uploaded on my channel, The Power of Excel, and on references, where I've talked about these references, relative reference, absolute reference, and mixed reference to in quite detail. So, in case you want to have a look at that, you can do it. So, let me just drag this down. And if I drag this towards the right as well, I should be in a position to get my designations and departments for these employees. Uh, some mistake, I guess. Uh, okay, I think that is happening just because the other columns are not in the same format. So let me, if you want to see that as well, I can do it in the next couple of minutes. And what I'll do is to look up value, because the lookup VLOOKUP is also there. So this reference is changing. So I don't want this reference to change. So let me make it again uh, absolute. Sorry, mixed. Give it a mixed reference. That is my $B2 would change my row if I move from top to bottom, but will not change the record. Then will not change the reference if I move from left to right. So I think beyond this, it should work well. So if I drag this down to get this value, and if I move it or drag it towards the right, I should be in a position to get the designation and the employee email addresses as well. So that is it for this particular video. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. The next tutorial, I'll be talking about the second limitation of the VLOOKUP function, wherein we try and fetch data to the left of my lookup column. That is for the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do it for more such content in the future. Thank you so much and have a great day ahead. Thank you.